Welcome back to the Leading Edge Conversations with Saskatoon's Leaders. I'm talking with Tom Bissonnette from Parr Autobody. So Tom, what about leadership is it that you really enjoy?
Well, I've always enjoyed, I guess, the opportunity to try and make a difference. I've always, and it sounds like a cliche, but I always look at things and say, I would do it this way. And it's always great to put your stamp on something. I think that's something that's just inside of you as a person. I enjoy the opportunity when I do have some success to help other people up and have the same success. That's probably more fun than making it yourself, to be honest. I like the idea of that I'm in control of my destiny, that I can make the decision for myself. And I try to consider other people's opinions and thoughts when I'm doing that, but I get to make the final call on it. So.
Mm-hmm. On the flip side of the coin, what are some of the challenges that you have as a leader?
Some days it feels like it's lonely, and some days I feel like, am I the only one that cares? Like I'll be the first one there and the last one to leave. And there's times when the tough decisions got to be made, and you're the guy that's on the line. And I can remember the first time I was ever put in a leadership position. I was excited about it, but at the same time I realized, oh no, I got everybody else's problems to worry about besides my own. And so sometimes that's a burden, and it's not always a good feeling, but if you can overcome that stuff, it is very rewarding.
When did you first know that you had leadership abilities?
That's a good question. When I started in the Autobody business, I was put in a position where very shortly after I started, where I had to actually manage the shop, and the owner had faith in me. Like he believed in me before I did, and he put me in charge of the back shop. And and I liked it. I found this is kind of fun. Like when you could make a difference and make it easier for people to get their job done, I enjoyed that. And I really found out, to be honest, Dave, that leadership is just a kind of another form of serving people, really, and maximizing their potential, and you benefit as well as they do. So,
a leader always has a strong set of clearly defined values. What are your values as a leader?
Well, honesty and integrity. I mean, I've come from the Autobody business. Some people would think, are you kidding? Because it doesn't have the greatest reputation for that. But, my feeling is that, if you're going to do anything, you have to do it in utmost honesty and integrity. And you're dealing with an insurance company that I believe, for the most part, is very fair. I mean, they got little rules and stuff that sometimes are weird. But you know what? If you treat them well, they treat you well. And I really enjoy that idea that, we run a nice clean slate. We don't do any cash deals. I mean, it kind of sounds weird and trite, but doing things ethically and making the right decision because it's the right thing to do, not because it's the convenient thing to do, that's what I think is key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Auto body shops have tended to have a bit of a shady reputation.
For sure.
Do you ever take flack from some other owners for, sort of being the beacon and saying, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to follow the straight and narrow?
Well, it's not so much flack, but I actually teach body shop management classes, and I preach this to these guys. Treat the insurance company like you're your best customer, because they are, and their thought is, well, they make me jump through these hoops and they make me do all these things. So when I get a chance to take advantage of them, I'm going to. And I'm saying, no, you don't want to do that. Somebody has to give in. Somebody has to start the ball rolling where it's a nice two-way street. And some of them, it's not flack, but they kind of they're incredulous. Like, you do that? I said, you bet. Mm-hmm. And long term, it's, again, much more gratifying because you have a partnership as opposed to a banging heads relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were to look back on your career, is there anybody that you could single out as being a beacon for you in terms of leadership?
It's funny you mentioned that. When I first took over Parr Autobody back in the 1980s, I was managing the place. And that's back when it was on 8th Street. It was one of the top shops in Saskatoon at the time. And I was 3 years in the business, and I took over running this business. And I knew right away I was over my head. I could tell, I'm in trouble here. And our paint supplier was a guy by the name of Koos Reinecking. He's a Dutch fella. And I phoned him and I said, look, I need help. I know I'm overwhelmed here and I need a little help. And that guy, to this day, he still works with the paint company. When I make major decisions, I still call him. But he's the guy, honesty, integrity. He's just a good, solid guy. He makes, not rash decisions. He thinks things through. And if he told me to jump off the bridge, I would do it tomorrow, thinking that there's going to be a big net and it's all full of money or something that I like or whatever, So Yeah, I think you need a mentor, and should find one that you trust and that you like. And I've just tried to emulate what Coast has taught me over the last 30 years. So,
You mentioned one of the challenges being lonely. How do you deal with that?
well, I'm involved with a 20 group. I deal with other body shop owners. There's other shops. I have a friend in Regina that owns a bigger shop than ours. I have a friend in Calgary that owns a bigger shop than ours. And when I need solace, or I need advice, or I phone those guys. Like I've recognized, don't wallow in it by yourself. You need to find out what other people have done. And most of the time, these guys have gone through the same stuff that I'm going through, and they got some pretty good sage advice. So you need, again, it's another mentor type situation. But I've had the opportunity to be blessed with a couple of guys that are really close to me, and I can talk to them anytime.
Mm-hmm. One of the qualities of a good leader is that they are able to build trust.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a long time to build trust, and it can evaporate just instantly.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you've done to build trust with your staff, your team?
Well, open book management obviously is one that they see what I see. The fact, like I said earlier, that I'm actually working on the shop floor with them right now. Like, I'm gutting it out and sweating it out every day, just like they are. I don't think there's anybody right now that's working more hours per day than I am at the shop, and I think they see that. But at the same time, again, it goes right back to what Coach Reineking and I talked about, that honesty and integrity, transparency. People need to know that you care, and when they know you care, that's all the difference in the world. And you're right. I liked what you said about it can be gone just like that. One little slip, one thing that you do that's the convenient thing to do, and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
It takes forever to build up that mountain.
So leadership is not always about doing what's convenient.
No. As a matter of fact, I've found that if you're on top of your game as a leader, probably you're serving everybody else first and yourself last. That's probably been a hallmark of it ever since I've been involved.
Mm-hmm. So leadership really for you is a lot about servant leadership, serving the people that
Yep.
report to you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's refreshing, because I know some leaders who think the opposite of that.
Well, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want to work in a stress-free environment. We want to make a good living. We want to feel that we've made a difference, and we want to feel like we've accomplished something with our lives. And I found out a long time ago, and I think Zig Ziglar is the guy that said it the first time I heard it, was the more people that you help get what they want, the more you'll get what you want. And I've always believed that and lived by that, and I'm excited about the potential. And I can see here in the next couple of years, I'm going to get the lifestyle that I would like, and that I can carry on and enjoy my retirement in the next however long that I've got on this earth,
So if somebody came to you and they said they were just going to embark on the leadership journey, how would you direct them? What advice would you give them?
Well, one of the things that I took years ago that I thought was great is I took the Dale Carnegie program. And I'm not an active plugger of any organization, but I'll tell you, that was a great opportunity just to learn to speak, learn to deal with people, and learn to understand that the books you read and the people you associate with is where you end up in life. And another thing that was a big impact on my life was becoming involved in Saskatoon Kinsmen Club. I was a Kinsmen member for about 4 years before my kids came along. And what a great organization, working with a bunch of guys, trying to make a difference in the community and serving the community's greatest need. That was a great opportunity. And plus the networking, Dave, the people that you meet and they get to know. And I'm still working with some of my Kinsmen buddies from 30 years ago, and now I'm dealing with their children as well. So that's, I can't say enough about organizations like that. Get involved. Don't be a hermit.
Tom, thank you very much for coming in today. Fascinating conversation. Very interesting, innovative things that you've done at Parr Autobody, and we appreciate the fact that you've shared them with our audience.
Well, thanks for having me, Dave. I appreciate being invited out.
You're welcome.
You bet.
My guest has been Tom Bissonnette from Parr Autobody, and you've been watching The Leading Edge, Conversations with Saskatoon's Leaders. Thank you for joining us on The Leading Edge, Conversations with Saskatoon's Leaders. I hope you found today's show thought-provoking and interesting. If you have any questions about leadership, or you'd like to talk to me about the show in general, send me an email at dave@highperformancehr.ca. I'd love to hear from you. I'd like to close with this quote on leadership. Until the next time, safe journey.